for his help in getting me that badge. So I got December 28, 1967, I was sworn in as the first woman member of the Stock Exchange. With the exception, there were at that time 1,366 seats. With the exception of a 2-month period, for 10 years, I could say 1,365 men and me. Believe me, that's more than being delightfully outnumbered. Then we had the little issue of a ladies' room. They had a ladies' room on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange since the Korean War, when they had women as clerks. But nobody told me about it for 2.5 years. I used to go up to the 6th floor where the administration of the Stock Exchange was. And one day I went down to the floor to cross a block of stock, and I said to the specialist, a man by the name of Frank Hort, I said, "Frank, I'll see you in a few minutes." He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "The 6th floor." He said, "You're not in trouble, are you?" And I said, "No, I'm not in trouble. I'm going to the John." He said, "You don't know where the John is." And in the middle of the trading day, Mr. Frank Hort took me by my hand and walked me to the ladies' room. Now, that was quite a day for me. I didn't have to go to the 6th floor anymore. My life changed in late 1976. Governor Hugh Carey called me, and he said, "I have made a commitment to hire women, and I want a woman as superintendent of banks, and your name is the only one that comes back." I will tell you that the world was shocked. The banks were shocked. I wasn't a lawyer. I was a woman. And there was a little matter of something else. I am also Jewish. So the banks, I was not the traditional superintendent of banks, but I accepted the job and was honored to accept it. I had to put my firm into a blind trust. Now, probably being superintendent of banks will be responsible for doing what I hope is the most important thing that I'll ever do in my life. I noticed Governor Carey appointed the first Afro-American deputy superintendent of banks, a man by the name of Tom Clark, and he was given consumer affairs. And he used to bring the kids into me. They were 17, 18 years old and ready to declare bankruptcy. They had gotten a credit card, they maxed it out. They got another one, they maxed it out. And I had just never, I was shocked. So I started to question these youngsters. And I said, "Did you ask your parents?" They said, "No, my parents don't know anything about this either." And then I studied it, and I realized we do not teach it in any of the schools. So I said to myself, whenever I am in a position, I will change that. And 10 years ago, I took the idea to the Chancellor of Schools in New York City, who looked at me and said, "Sure, we teach that." And I said, "I'm sorry, sir, you don't." And we now have a program which we give to for the schools. that teaches. It's called a Muriel Sieberts Personal Financial Literacy course. It's 21 lessons. It includes checking accounts, credit cards, what are the deductions from your paycheck. Now, these are things that you're going to have to know for your financial future, or you can get into trouble like the others. We have to have, and you must obtain the knowledge, so that, because it may not earn you more money, but it will help your money go further. I'm going to make sure that we send some copies here so that you can have some copies in the library. I just came out with a version for the 8th graders at the request of the schools. It's because the youngsters are starting to drop out of school after the 8th grade. So they wanted a simpler version, which I have prepared for them. And I'd like to give you a couple of little pieces of advice that I have learned. It is vital to the economic health of our nation that everyone who succeeds finds a way to give back. And it's a good feeling. Get involved, please, and be active. It is also crucial that you find a way to get the knowledge you need to handle your finances. We wouldn't have these foreclosed homes if people would have known what they were signing. This will change your financial future. With your college education, that knowledge will help your money go further. And that's important because you'll be able to do more. You know, you have worked hard and you've accomplished much. And you have a lot to look forward to. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities in this country. Just think of the jobs and think of what one person, a college dropout, accomplished. Look at what Bill Gates of Microsoft has accomplished. And he's created millions of jobs. So for you, I say, keep your eyes and your mind open. If you see an opportunity, just don't turn your head and say, oh, that's too much work. Look at it and look at the challenge, please. And don't be afraid to reach to do something. Do not be afraid to go onto uncharted territories. You might find some pretty good things there. But set your goals high, please. And just remember, there's a lot of people. Don't be afraid, for example, of rejection. Don't be afraid of failing at something you've tried to do. You just pick yourself up and you try it again. And when you do something special, please take a moment and celebrate your victory. In closing, I'd like to say life is a journey, and I wish you a long, healthy, and wonderful, fun ride. Thank you.